Dollar hasn't had an upgrade in 100 years. A stable coin is going to be the currency for agents to interact with each other. They don't want to become crypto native. Once they come in, crypto becomes mainstream.
I smell like the big opportunity for me to earn money.
That's really what's going to ultimately get this from where we are today to where we're going to be 10, 20, 30 years from now.
We've just arrived at WLFI co-founder and COO Zak's hotel, and we're heading up to knock on his door right now.
How are you?
Great.
Great to see you. Come on in. Oh, you want to?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
So last time we met is in Korean, and now is a Hong Kong conference. I just wondering like what's the difference, the crypto culture and the difference between Asia and like Western.
In America, I think we just don't have the same level interest that they have here. It's a lot more of the traditional financial institutions that are kind of adopting crypto at a faster rate, whereas the retail interest isn't necessarily there right now the way that it maybe was back in like 2020.
I think the difference in my perspective, the last year all the people is talking about RWA,
Yep.
and layer 1 also AI.
Yep.
But this time when I landing Hong Kong, I found all the people just talking about AI and the stablecoin.
Yeah, the real meta has shifted a lot from RWAs and tokenization to stablecoin adoption, which for us is great because, you know, USD1 is our flagship product. We've just surpassed $5 billion market cap. We're approaching $5.5 billion already. We believe very heavily in stablecoins. I mean, I remember when I got into crypto, a stablecoin was Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to have a market that functions around. So I think everybody from traditional institutions to retail users are starting to adopt stablecoins as the base pair. And then with the big shift to AI, I think everybody believes that AI is the future. A year ago, I mean, the amount of growth in the AI sector from Anthropic and Claude usage, it's through the roof right now. And everybody's focusing on agentic payments. It's just very obvious that a stable coin is going to be the currency for agents to interact with each other. And I think, you know, a stable coin is really important because one of the things that I think has kept crypto from growing and becoming mainstream for the mass group of people that we want to come into the space, they don't want to become crypto native. So now I think it's about crypto and digital assets, meeting them where they're at right now and integrating into their life. It's about bringing this technology in and integrating it in a way where everybody can use it without having to become crypto native, without having to worry about seed phrases or, you know, approving transactions, signing transactions, gas fees, all the stuff that, you know, we've been dealing with for the last 10 plus years. It's really going to be about abstracting that away and making the technology useful to everybody in all the different areas where they want to be able to transact and trade and stuff like that.
Cool.
And right now, I think everybody is starting to see massive adoption across tokenized assets, securities, TradFi institutions that want to adopt blockchain, and stablecoins are going to be the underlying layer for all of this. So we've really positioned USD1, institutional ready, institutional grade stablecoin with very thorough KYC, AML, low friction to onboard. If every time they trade in and out of fiat to stablecoin, they're losing, you know, 5, 10, 15 bips. They're going to be less likely to use a stablecoin.
In Miami, and you invited a lot of very awesome person. So what's that topic? Like you are like want to onboard more traditional giant into the crypto? Well,
I think they already are. And I think their desire and willingness to participate in the World Liberty Forum, we wouldn't have been able to get David Solomon or, you know, the president of the New York Stock Exchange if they weren't already focused on moving towards blockchain technology. So, you know, when we set out to build World Liberty Financial, the goal was to really make traditional finance better, more accessible, and available to everyone around the globe. And so we've been building with that in mind. It's why we released our WLFI token first as the governance layer. And then we rolled out USD1, which is the stable coin that will really bridge the gap between TradFi, DeFi, crypto, et cetera. We're going to get to hear how some of these traditional financial institutions are viewing blockchain and what they see as the future for blockchain. And when you think about it, I mean, these people are managing trillions of dollars of assets. So once they come in, it's going to be that inflection point where really crypto becomes mainstream. It becomes part of our everyday life, not just here in Asia, but also in the United States and all around the world. And then we have a bunch of other products that are coming out, like our retail application that'll basically be like a Cash App style application that allows people to send and receive money from people all around the world and do it in a cheaper, faster, more transparent way than a lot of the other apps that are already out there. Agentic payments utilizing stablecoins, foreign exchange that, is a $7 trillion a day industry. Money's moving around the world all the time, all of that, and be able to meet people where they're at. So integrate directly with their debit cards, their financial institutions, give the benefits without expecting people to learn a whole new way of transacting.
That's good. As I think I'm one of the biggest community supporter.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing do some rewards for the community who is willing to do live stream on Binance Square.
Yeah.
I think now it's amazing. I want to just share something to you.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we make one video. Now a lot of Twitter KOLs also want to do the live stream on Binance Square. Yeah, and all the people do the PPT to introduce. Some of the people even do the video. Yeah, so many people do it.
Wow.
They love it. And we can see a lot of people. They are not only do one day, every day.
Wow.
And every day more than 5 hours. That is good.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, I think that we're starting to see a lot of people are starting to catch on to USD1. Yeah. And I think one of the things for us, we are probably the only stablecoin that has such a strong community support behind it.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody excited about Tether. You don't see anybody excited about Circle. When you look at when projects launch with USD1, they instantly outperform projects that are launching against Tether and Circle. Like, for example, Sahara AI is a perfect example. When Sahara AI did its initial IEO or IDO, whatever their launch was, they raised in USD1 as well as several other assets. And I think they did about a $70 million raise. And of that $70 million, 55 million approximately came in USD1. So it's just showing that people want to participate in a stablecoin economy and community that has a lot of excitement behind it and has a lot of brand affinity behind it.
But do you think your campaign is so aggressive, you reward a lot of rewards? Do you think that can be it's only 1 month, or you will continually to have a difference incentivize for USD1 adoption?
I think in any market anywhere, not just in crypto, pouring back into the community and rewarding people who want to become loyal and serious users, they're always going to get rewarded. We're always going to find ways to give new and exciting opportunities for them.
But most of the projects they're thinking they don't want to spend any of the budget in the bear market.
A lot of the time when there's any sort of contraction in a marketplace, people get fearful and they tend to pull back on what's working. We're the exact opposite. We see something that works, we're going to continue to do it and we're going to double down on it, because at the end of the day, like I was saying before, markets go through cycles.
Is there any target that USD1 end of this year?
I don't know. We just want consistent growth. And so obviously as we get bigger, it's going to be harder to grow as quickly as we have. Going from 0 to 5 billion is obviously an incredible accomplishment. But once we get to $50-100 billion, then I'm sure the growth will slow, but will be continuous. So for us, we're just focusing not on a particular market cap or anything like that. It's how can we continue to create new opportunities for USD1? How can we create new opportunities for users and holders? And how can we make it more fun than other stablecoins? Because stablecoins have a great use, but they're not particularly sexy or fun, you know?
Yeah.
And so by putting that community first, by building that cult-like following, by always looking for new and exciting partnerships that maybe haven't existed with other stablecoins, that's all we're really focusing on. And we know that as long as we continue to build, deliver, and support the community, the market cap will just naturally grow.
Do you have any planning to make USD1 fund, like a different way to build the USD1?
Yeah, we have a lot of different ideas and a lot of things that we're rolling out. So like our consumer application, allowing people to be able to, you know, pay their friends and family or whatever with USD1, it makes it a lot more real. We think that people enjoy using applications like Venmo and Cash App or, you know, WePay. And by building an application that really focuses on that use case, we think it's going to be a lot more fun and a lot more user accessible. So that's just one way. Another way is partnering up with a lot of the AI platforms that are out there, bringing it into agentic payments so that people can, you know, make use of, you know, stablecoin payments through AI application. People have been absolutely fanatical about Claude Bot, for example. You know, like we've seen in just a matter of a few weeks, like Claude has absolutely exploded. So by giving people the ability to transact in USD1 directly through, you know, their Claude or their Claude bots, that's another way to make it fun.
I smell like the big opportunity for me to earn money. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't really do a lot of interviews. We don't really do a lot of publicity or anything like that. Because again, at the end of the day, we believe that the work is going to, you know, be rewarding to the whole project. And so ignoring the noise, ignoring whether we're in a bull or a bear cycle, and, you know, just a lot of self-promotion, it doesn't really get results. What gets results is focusing on first principles, what we know works, and just execution. So, but for us, you know, the thing that we really enjoy is building and growing and delivering on what we say we're going to do. Much bigger than just talking about it.
Before I talked with you, I thought stablecoin things is very easy to build. We just, okay, we launch a stablecoin, let the other people to use us, let the exchange to use us. But seems like it's not that kind of easy. You need to build the whole payment industry.
That's right.
Yeah, you need to build not only Web3, but also Web2.
Yes, that's very important. Because at the end of the day, it's like we were saying before, if we're going to really grow as a brand and as a product, we can't wait for people to come find us, and we can't just try to compete with the Tethers and the Circles of the world. But we believe that the real growth is beyond that. But if you look at crypto, it's very unintuitive. You know, to install a wallet, to connect it to your centralized exchange, deposit money, move it here, deposit into a DeFi application, it's very difficult. And we've been very successful at getting, you know, onto Coinbase, onto Binance, onto Kraken, onto all of the major exchanges.
I believe the technical solution will be not a barrier.
Yeah.
But do you think that the legal way can make that happen to one day?
The passing of the Genius Act was very important, especially towards what we're discussing right now, because it basically laid a framework and gave rules and guidelines for how stablecoins can be issued, how they can operate. And I think that we've already seen governments all around the world have started to echo that, because they always look to the US for guidance. And once the US, you know, said, like, gave it its stamp of approval and laid the framework, it's all starting to be adopted around the world. And we see that even here in Hong Kong, they're starting to issue stablecoin licenses as well. And so I think that the general shift is towards making stablecoins acceptable, because, you know, if you look at it, like, you know, our phones have had massive technological increases over the last few years. I mean, you know, I'm 40, so I remember before there were cell phones, and then I remember what the first cell phones looked like. Today, we have smartphones that can pretty much do everything that a computer can do. But if you look at the dollar, you know, the dollar hasn't had an upgrade in 100 years. I mean, it's still a piece of paper, or it's just a number in a bank account that sits on a ledger. So I think the money itself needs to be upgraded and digitized for a new digital economy. And so that's a real focus for us with USD1, is making this digitized dollar more usable and more accessible and more programmatic, so that it can be adopted for things like agentic payments, which I think anybody who's paying attention knows that that's really where the future is going. Millions or trillions of agents that are interacting with each other to run our economy on a daily basis. And so a stablecoin is the natural fit for all of those payments. I was just sitting down with a friend of mine the other day who has a Web 2 business. And he was saying that he needed to pay, they're based in Australia, and he was saying that they needed to pay somebody in Germany for something. I don't know if it was a supplier or what. And he was saying that it was so frustrating because they had to wait 48 hours for the payment to settle. And not only does it take 48 hours for that payment to settle, but they're also paying bank fees, which are, can be $30, $40 for an international wire, maybe more depending on their bank. You have intermediary bank fees. You have Forex conversion fees. I mean, there's a lot of payments that, get chopped down. USD1 is the perfect example because, it settles pretty much instantly anywhere around the world, 24/7, 24/7, 365. If you're transacting on chains like BNB, for example, where there's no transaction fees, you're basically sending money any amount that you want from any place in the world to anywhere else in the world. That technology is here. Why wouldn't everybody want to take advantage of that?
I earn a lot from this. I love your perspective, and you help me to build more confidence on Web3 and crypto.
Yeah.
All the people are very negative, but I think when the other people negative, actually that is a good thing. That is the opportunity, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm here 8 years. I saw a lot of people very excited to earn money, and maybe after a year so sad, fuck crypto, crypto is dead. I should leave. And I think that is development.
I think the thing is that if you're going to be successful in anything, you really need to focus on, what you want to achieve and not be so swayed by what the external feelings and rhetoric is. And so if you think about it, like Elon Musk, somebody that pretty much everyone on the planet looks up to, he's been able to achieve incredible things, shooting rockets into space, come down, they catch them, I mean, things that nobody could have ever thought of. Putting, Starlink, where, everybody has fast satellite internet anywhere in the world. You don't get to achieve those sorts of milestones by, listening to what other people say. You have to have a vision, and you have to be building towards it every day when things are going your way and when things aren't going your way. So I would just say that for anybody who is in this space right now, just have conviction. If you believe in something, don't worry about what's being said on Twitter. There was a time when people would have, sold their mom to get a $70,000 Bitcoin price, right? And so instead of looking at where we've fallen from an all-time high, or what the total market cap of crypto is today compared to what it was 3, 4, 5 months ago, just focus on this is obviously working, it's obviously growing, and every market has cycles, and especially in the beginning of a new market or a new product, it's going to be more volatile. Anybody who's building in this space that I know that has strong conviction is not worried about asset prices. They're just worried about building for the future and reaching their goal and building something that really improves the world and how we interact with each other, how we transact with each other. And that's really what's going to ultimately get this from where we are today to where we're going to be 10, 20, 30 years from now, where no one even thinks about it because it's just integrated with our daily life.